I'm not discounting the other work that you're talking about, but that
Yeah.
book is really good because it's specifically about like the totality of this subject. But go ahead.
Yeah. But you would say when it comes to saying is the Genesis account true, you mean in a historical sense, and I mean the 6 day creation. Would you also say then like that the timeline of some 6-7 thousand years ago is also necessary understanding of how our
So
history
the
as a
history of the
species fits
Orthodox
in?
Church, right? So the history of the Orthodox Church has the Byzantine calendar, and the Byzantine calendar is based on the Genesis account. And so I forget the exact number. I'm not being like a hard ass about what the specific number is that you have to believe in. And I don't know that the church fathers ever say that, oh, you have to believe in this specific age per se. But the New Testament, for example, is rife with of cases where Jesus, Paul clearly state that Adam and Eve were historical beings,
Mhm.
and they were historical in the sense of the same way that Jesus is historical. And so, for example, we have throughout the book of Genesis countless prophecies of the Messiah and what lineage he will come from.
Mhm.
That lineage is recounted in the genealogies in the New Testament, the Gospels, right? And so it's very important that we have a genealogy that's consistent to show that Jesus fulfills this prophecy of being the descendant of Abraham. Because if he's not the descendant of Abraham, then he doesn't fulfill those prophecies. And there's many, many of them throughout the book of Genesis, right? The other thing, too, is that the book of Genesis is really important for teaching the doctrine of the Trinity, because the
Mhm.
doctrine of Trinity is not something developed in the New Testament period. It's not a development. It's a Trinitarian, it's a Hebrew doctrine that we have to stress. And that's contrary to a lot of modern religious notions of evolving tradition, evolving comparative religion theories, that the ancient world was pagan, and then it evolves to monotheism, and then it evolves to atheism, right? That's kind of a traditional secular narrative. So what I'm saying is that we can't go to a bunch of secular people who don't believe the New Testament or the Old Testament to tell us the true meaning of the book of Genesis. We got to go to
Mhm.
the enlightened people within our tradition who experience and have seen the divine light, and that's our church fathers. That's our tradition.
Yeah.
So while there might be insights in Carl Jung or Plato or Jordan Peterson, they're not going to be the ones that can tell us these key doctrinal issues about whether Jesus is the second Adam. To
Mhm.
be the second Adam, according to St. Paul, has to mean that he's the same bodily structure and nature that Adam had.
Mhm.
Otherwise, he doesn't redeem and resurrect these bodies. And that's crucial to the New Testament's theology of the body, so to speak.